As a barber, you already know that you need to raise your prices in order to scale your business, but you haven't done so yet because you're scared of losing all of your clients. My name is Pico, also known as Rice Cuts, and I've scaled my barber business from $30 a haircut all the way to $100 a haircut. Now obviously this made me more money, but would you believe me if I told you that this actually brought me more clients? If you don't, then you're suffering with the main problem that most barbers have, and that's not understanding how to even judge how many clients you have. If you're like most barbers, you judge the amount of clients you have by your total head count, and I'm gonna show you exactly why that's the wrong way to go about it. Imagine having a bucket halfway filled with water and your only job is to make it overflow, and the only way that you can overflow is by throwing rocks into it. There are only two types of rocks that you can use: big rocks and small rocks. Based on this scenario, there are only two strategies that you can use to overflow your bucket. Strategy A is trying to fill the bucket up with as many small rocks as possible. This is the least efficient way to go about filling your bucket because you'll spend all of your energy trying to find small rocks just to have each little rock have barely any effect in the bucket water. This is essentially what you're doing as a barber, trying to judge your success based on how many clients you have. And that's why you feel so burnt out from barbering. You're literally spending 8 to 12 hours behind your chair just to barely make $5,000 a month. Instead, you need to be focusing on strategy B, which is ignoring all of the small rocks and focusing on only the big rocks to fill your bucket. When you do this, you'll spend less energy on collecting rocks, and your bucket will overflow way faster because each rock that you throw in has a bigger effect on the water. To put it in barber terms, that's like going from 18 cuts a day at $30 for $540 at the end of the day versus 7 haircuts at $100 for $700 in one day. You're supposed to work with less people because each person is worth more. And that's how I judge how many clients I'm working with, not by quantity, but with quality. This is actually the biggest shift I helped my student Allison with. When we first started working together 8 weeks ago, she was only charging $50 per head. Like most barbers, she knew that she had to raise her prices to scale her business, but she was scared that she would lose clients. Now she charges $75 per haircut and we're on our way to $100. But I'll be honest, the only reason why her customers are comfortable with paying that price is because I helped her position herself as a high-end barber, and that's done through social media. When we first started, she only had 200 followers on TikTok and 2,000 followers on Instagram. Now she has 8,000 followers on TikTok and 13.2 thousand followers on Instagram. And that's the key to doing this correctly: positioning. See, most barbers are gonna watch this video, raise their prices, and then lose all of their clients because they skip the most important part of this, which is positioning. That's why my entire mentorship is focused on helping barbers position themselves properly so that they could charge more per haircut. And if you want to apply, you can click the first link in my bio. But what are some tactical things you can do to better position yourself as a barber? Well, there are 3, and I can guarantee that these work because this is exactly what I did with my client Allison. First and foremost, stop posting befores and afters. This is the most outplayed type of content in the whole barber industry. Just take a second to think from your customer's perspective. If every barber posts the same type of content, what is there to separate each barber? Price. Posting befores and afters makes you a commodity in your customer's eyes, and that forces you to compete on price. Instead, you need to compete on brand and authority. I have a few content formats that I teach my students that help them do this, but the most effective one is the consultation. This is where instead of posting befores and after clips, you actually show a whole process of you talking to the client, recommending a certain type of haircut that would suit them best, and then you show the befores, and then you show the results. It's a whole transformation process. But how do you even know what to talk about during your consultation? Well, that brings me into tactic number 2. And this isn't necessarily related to your content, but rather how you interact with your clients during the consultation. This is how most barbers interact with their clients. The customer books on the website, the customer sits in the chair, the customer tells the barber what they want, gets their cut, pays, and leaves. But this makes no sense when you ask yourself one question: who's the expert? The barber. So what sense does it make to just have the client tell you exactly what to do? Like, yes, it's their head, but you know exactly what's gonna suit their head shape. The average person has no idea what haircut will actually suit them, but you do as the barber, or at least I hope so. So what you need to start doing is be the expert. Like, if your client sits in their chair and say, well, I don't really know what to get, or they'll tell you, oh, I want a comb over, but their forehead is too big, you wouldn't want to recommend something like that because it's going to expose their forehead. You want to recommend something that will really suit their head shape and solve their issues that they have. And you don't have to be a dick about it. You can ask them, are you open for a new suggestion? I know this is the haircut you want, and I'll give that to you if you really want it, but here's my professional barber opinion. I think that we should do X, Y, and Z to cover up X, Y, and Z. And most of the time, they're game for it. They'll just just sit in your chair and be like, you know what? You're the expert. This is exactly what I paid for. This instantly builds your authority as a barber instead of just being another order taker. And when you consistently do this, you'll build this reputation of being an expert so that your client base is more than happy to pay you. It's like eating at Nobu versus eating at a regular sushi spot. At Nobu, the servers are trained to create and curate a whole menu for you so that you can enjoy your food based on your own palate and what you're craving, what you're allergic to, versus at the regular sushi spot, they're just gonna take your order and give it to you. The difference is Nobu could charge $600 for a meal, where the sushi spot, you'll charge $30 to $50. Speaking of consistency, this is the last tactic I'm gonna show you, but this is the step that most barbers always skip. It's not about doing these things just once or twice and then going back to your old habits. It's about doing them long enough so that you see the effects. And that's what you've been struggling with. I'm almost positive that you've heard this advice before. I'm not really giving you the juicy stuff. That's saved for my students. But for some reason, you haven't been able to do this long enough for this to actually start working for you. The reason why this happens is because you don't have a system for consistency. That was one of the main things I worked with Allison on. And we actually just made a video going over all of this. And if you want to watch that video, click this video right here.